The Kings were hot, then they're cold.
Lavine and no show.
We just beat the Cavs
and lost to the Bulls.
How come we do this
every single time?
Why can't we just beat the bad teams?
Just one time, please.
I'm convinced Kevin HUERTER hates us.
Oh, for sure, man.
Oh my gosh. The
Damn.
life of a Kings fan, let me tell you, it's literally the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, and then, we always tell ourselves we can't get, too high and too low, but I don't know what it is about this team. We will forever ride this roller coaster. My God.
Well, listen, if for those that have lived in Sacramento, that are tuned in outside of Sacramento, welcome to being a Kings fan. This is just all I got to say. When you go through a 16-year playoff drought, there's the highs and then the lows. And then once you make the playoffs, you reach the highest of highs. And then when you miss the play-in, it's like almost like the middle ground of like the middle low. And then this season has just been up and down and up and down. It's like I'm just riding like this little fairy wave or something like that.
You're riding the, what do you call this? The Cobra. This
is
the Cobra.
The Cobra, yeah.
It's the Cobra season. Welcome back to the Kang Gang Pod. This is episode number 44. We are recording this right after the Severance season finale. Just kidding. Right after the Chicago Bulls game. And my gosh, we were just living the dream last night. I stayed out till midnight. Just soaking in the beam, living the dream, just seeing Donovan Mitchell just lose to the Kings by 4 points. And the game that no one thought we would win, we win. And then every Kings fan expects the win against the Bulls. And then we fumble to the Bulls. And that's just what it's like.
That's just how it is, man. That's how it is.
Classic
Sometimes
Kangs.
that's what it boils down to is, it reminds me a lot of last year. You know how last year we always were like, oh, we somehow just like struggle in back-to-backs. We lose at home to like super bad teams, and it just is a never-ending cycle. I want to talk you talk about, and the Pistons were kind of like a good team too, but it's like one of those that's just like they were struggling to start the beginning of the season. That loss to Detroit like kick-started their hot run. If you think about it, that Jaden Ivey 4-point play is the reason why the Pistons have been doing so well ever since.
You're right. I don't know how we got on track of the Pistons, but yeah, I mean, what a season it's been. And then back on that Pistons game, that's what caused, our whole trajectory of this team to change. But man, if you're watching the Kang Gang Pod, if you're listening to episode 44, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. All it does is help our podcast grow. Shouts out to our listeners all across the globe. I got a message from someone who purchased something off of eBay from me, and he is a Kang Gang Pod listener from Australia.
Oh, let's go.
So shouts out to you. His last name is Fox as well, which is amazing.
That's a banger last name.
Yes, his name is Swipe of the Foxy on his socials. So shouts out to
so good.
Our Australian listener from down under.
Shout out to also Canada too, because
yes,
that especially when we did our video when Fox returned too. Speaking of Fox, it was kind of like this guy from Canada and their entire family.
Yeah, they were showing us love. They're showing RT some big love.
International love, man. Shout out Pitbull.
Well, RT, where do you want to begin? Because I was at the Cavs game. Do we talk about the Cavs game briefly and then transition into the Bulls game?
Yeah, let's start with positives.
Yeah,
I mean, there is positives. Yeah,
because it's so funny comparing the two games, because in the Cavaliers game, we started the game 4 for 23, shooting 11% from the field in the first quarter. And you thought, this is the worst quarter of Kings basketball in history. But somehow we find a way to bounce back. And I just can't believe the energy in the Golden One Center last night. I can't believe the way the guys competed. Shouts out to Devin Carter. I think he had the best game of his young NBA career. This was the Devin Carter that we all thought that we were going to be getting in the draft. I know you're a huge Friar Nation representative, RT, and my God, I thought Devin Carter blew us away. He was incredible.
Yeah, like I said, I think that Devin Carter, it was his big coming out party. I know we talked about there was moments, especially in that Grizzlies game, that he had a really good game against the Grizzlies, but last night really showed that this is the guy that we drafted our first round pick with. Insane poster. I know that camera angle was like the weirdest thing
you're gonna have
ever.
to explain that to me because I was at the arena. Maya and I, we like went crazy. The whole arena went crazy. It was like we had the best view. Like in person, that was like the craziest poster ever. But then I go and then I want to go like find the clip after when I get home late at night because I got to relive the game. So then I start watching and I try to find the clip and I see this aerial view. Archie, talk to me. What happened? What happened?
I just think that the NBA is trying so hard to pull off like the NFL with their skyline views, because like how the NFL they like trying to do skyline views of the game, and try and cover that. I felt like the angles that they showed were probably the worst angles I've seen from a poster in like quite some time.
Because I did see that like the consensus of the poster was that the angle of the poster ruined the dunk. And like, you don't see the magnitude of what he did. I don't even remember who he dunked over.
Oh, it was not Ty Jerome.
I don't think it was Ty Jerome.
No, it was somebody else. It's not Sam Merrill.
No.
It was somebody on the bench.
Yeah, I think it was a bench player. But dude, it was insane. And that just fueled him. But I mean, the steals, the effort, the energy. I mean, he looked confident out there. It looks like his jump shot has changed a little bit. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it looks like he has a little bit of like a clutch in his shot. I don't know, but I mean, it worked against the Cavs.
It worked out pretty well.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So, wait, what just happened?
Oh, shout out to Maya. I made it on my last episode a pact that
oh my gosh,
if we won, I was going to paint my nails. If we beat the Cavs, this is nail reveal right here. So check it out, y'all. This is a nail reveal. This is like literally legit. So like the person that just came in here, her name's Maya. She's my nail tech for tonight. And she did a really good job of just painting my nails really nicely. So you can see right here.
I think the toes are next.
Yeah, maybe the toes are next. So thank you, Maya. And here's my other hand too, so that way y'all can see it. So yeah, this is what I wanted. I mean, listen, I know Jared McCain is from Sacramento, and I know he paints his nails blue and red, like he's on the Sixers. But listen, someone's got to Someone's got to paint their nails purple, and why not me? Why not me?
Why not tease?
And I'll be making a TikTok later tonight afterwards too. So you'll be seeing it.
It looks really good.
It actually does. It looks really good. I'm not gonna lie.
You might have to keep that
this guy's kind of crazy. I'm low key, man. And this.
No, that looks.
It actually looks really good.
You're looking really cute right now.
Thank you.
I'll be honest.
Listen, if I'm just as cute as Zach Lavine, like I'll take that over any day because. A lot of my female friends out there, they're like,
they probably compare you to Zach Lavine.
They just think Zach Lavine is like super sexy, so it's like.
Well, I mean, I think you're getting the story wrong. I think they're talking about you. But that's a story for another day.
For another time. But listen, the nails worked out pretty well.
No, it worked good.
It actually looks really good. Like the thumbs looked insanely. They look so tight, actually.
Artie's feeling himself right now.
It. Listen, the Cavs. We beat the Cavs last night.
All I'm saying is, I'm just so glad when we posted our celebratory post after the Cavs win. People in the comments, shouts out Adam Doogie and a bunch of others.
Yep, shout out Jeff Harris.
Wow, we love you, Jeff, so much. Shout out to all of our Kang Gang diehards out there that listen, because we mentioned that pretty late in the episode. So they wrote it out and they were waiting for the reveal. So now the reveal is here, and boom. This is what we need. This is what we need to finish off this homestand the right way.
I think I probably might keep this for the entire homestand.
You need to, because I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be gone, so you got to keep it.
We got to hold it down. So I'm going to hold it down. Yeah, damn, I can't believe you're going to be gone these next couple of days. Gone.
Yeah, you're gonna. I'm gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you.
I don't know if we're gonna miss Johnny though, because he's never here. But anyways, the Cavaliers, hottest team, best team in the NBA. They come into Sacramento after a loss to the Clippers, back-to-back game, whatever, and we take care of business against the better team. Yes, they were missing Darius Garland, but we were missing Sabonis, Lavine, and LaRavia. And I sent this to my boy Tony before the game. I said, he texted me because he knew I was going to the game, and he said, hold it down for us. And I said, no Sabonis, no Lavine, no LaRavia, And then in the invisible text, no problem. And
no
guess
problem,
what, RT?
baby. No problem. Come on.
Nails painted. So, yeah, honestly, that was probably one of the most exciting games I've been to all year. It reminded me of the Warriors playoffs. It felt like that type of excitement because a game that you're not supposed to win and then going out there shorthanded as we were, that just showed how good of a team we could be. So then fast forward into this game. When you win a game like that,
dude,
shorthanded, and you have guys coming back, Laravia and Lavine, they were ready to go. And when the Chicago Bulls, of course, are here, Zach Lavine, it should be Zach Lavine and DeMar DeRozan's revenge game. But that was not the storyline tonight. I mean, it was for DeRozan.
It was.
Shouts out DeMar DeRozan. He hit his 25,000th career
25K,
point.
baby.
He is.
Hell yeah.
He's number 27 on the list now, which is insane, and he's only going to get closer and closer to the top. But it's so unfortunate that we couldn't get the win on that historical night for DeMar.
Did you see there was something on Twitter that DeMar actually was FaceTiming the Bulls team? Do you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. They were talking about it in the broadcast.
And it was so funny because I was like, this either could go two ways. Where one, you come out and just, you put belt to ass on the Bulls. And then the other one is you don't really shoot that ball really well. Unfortunately, the latter did happen tonight. And so, I mean, he did pick it up in the second half,
well,
though.
DeRozan stepped up.
Yeah,
I mean,
he stepped up.
DeRozan had his 22. I mean, not as efficient as we'd like.
No.
He was 9 for 22. The other guy. This is the next topic because Zach LaVine, if you look at the box score, you're going to see two things. And these are the two things why we did not win tonight's game. One, Zach LaVine didn't shoot more than 10 shots. Mm-hmm. He had 4 points going into the fourth quarter. He didn't make a single field goal until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So that's an issue because he only shot the ball 4 times. We've said it time and time again. He's only played with us for 19 games, but that guy needs to shoot 20 to 25 times a game.
I agree.
And when he only shot 9 times tonight, that's not going to... It just looks like he wasn't even looking for a shot. And then I was texting you going into the fourth quarter, and I was like, Lavine's going to wake up. And then he scored 2 buckets in a row, and then nothing the rest of the game. And I was just so sad because you think that, when you get traded away from your team, you want to play good in front of them. That transitions into my next point. What's your favorite cake?
Red
velvet.
Yeah,
Red velvet.
Yeah.
He understood the assignment tonight. Zach Lavine did not, and that's just very unfortunate because Kevin HUERTER manhandled us out there. Where was that when he was with us, RT?
No, it was there in the beginning. It was
sure
there in
was.
the beginning. Yeah, it was when he had the game winner against Utah.
Yeah, in the Beam Team era, it was there. But as of recently,
the debut game, he had 8 threes. Against Portland. It just feels like it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. I mean, it's crazy. He played for us for 2.5 seasons, but I mean, all you really remember from this season was just the 3-point fatigue. I mean, he was just never the same after that shoulder injury. And then, I mean, we were all big Red Velvet fans. We just wanted the best for him. And then, he goes on to Chicago and you see what he's doing. God, he just silenced the crowd with those 2 back-to-back threes to end the game.
Damn.
But, man, we could go on and on about the bad.
Yeah.
Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling.
I hate to cut you off, too, but, another thing that he also did tonight had a very underrated 7 assists. That's like an underrated stat that you don't really see from Kevin HUERTER. Kevin HUERTER never did that for the Kings. He never had 7 assists in a single game with the Kings. And then tonight, he shows up and has 7 assists.
I have an even more underrated stat for you.
Drop it.
He had 4 steals tonight, too.
Yeah, see. See what I mean? I think after the post-game interview, too, Matt George, he asked Kevin, and he had that little smile on his face and was like, yeah, you could tell that this was a revenge game for Kevin HUERTER. It was the clearest revenge game possible.
Of course it was. That's why I'm saying, why didn't Zach come into tonight's game with the same energy? Yes, he missed the Cavs game due to personal issues. We don't really know. I don't think it was revealed why he missed. So I don't know what's going on in the personal life of Zach Lavine, but you would think, and when you're playing against a team that you were in Chicago for eight seasons, you gotta go off against them in the first game. But it was a missed opportunity at the worst time.
I'll tell you what. There is a player that scored more than Zach Lavine tonight. You ready for me to drop this bomb on you?
There was a lot, but who?
I'll give you one specifically. Bronny James. Yeah. Listen, while he walks out, I'm gonna have my rant for a split second. Zach Lavine. Oh, Jesus, ow. When you have Bronny James outscore you in a single game, Bronny James comes off the bench, mind you, and shoots more. I mean, that's a bad sign. I mean, if I'm Zach Lavine, I'm taking that personally. I better come out these next... how many games left do we have left? 14?
Well, we are 35 and 34. So that is 69 games.
69, so 13.
13 more games. That's it.
13. So if you have 13 more games, Zach Lavine needs to show the world why he was a valuable piece in the 3-team trade that happened with Fox. Because it looks like, from my standpoint, when you have 8 points and are 2 from 9 while making $45 million a year, maybe even more, it feels like not only one team has robbed you with the Spurs, it feels like the team that's below you, front office ranking rise, also robbed you.
And the only reason why we're being so hard on Zach right now is because we know how talented and how good he is. But when he just is a shell of himself, it's a disappointment, because you know at any point this guy could explode for 30, 40 points on a given night, especially against your former team. You got to look the bull in the eye and rip the horns out.
You just got to take the bull by the horns, man.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a chemistry. That is chemistry 101 for those in high school. If you are struggling with chemistry, take the bull by the horns and flip him. That's how you do it. But
see, listen to Teasy,
you know what? And at the end of the day, when you realize that Zach Lavine is making 45 to 50 million, yes, the team, I think, could get him more involved. I agree. I think that Monk and DeRozan can try to get him more involved. There is a factor to that. But Zach Lavine's just got to want it. It's not offensively, it's the body language defensively too. Because there have been moments and I reflect back on when there are defensive lapses and 50-50 balls. Is Zach Lavine the guy that's going to basically go down and try to get the ball on a 50-50, dive for a loose ball? I just don't think so. And that's the problem, is that the lack of urgency from Zach Lavine is not there.
And that's what made Devin Carter so vital in the Cavaliers win, because when you see a 50-50 ball, Devin Carter's diving on the ground.
100%.
So, I mean, yeah, that's definitely something to take note about Zach Lavine in general. But, yeah, I mean, that's just the thing that's just so frustrating, is because we know how important he is to this team. And it's times like these where we need him to step up and not be shy to shoot the ball. I mean, you know how I said there's two things, if you look at the box score, that you could tell why we lost that game? Number one was Zach Lavine shooting 9 times. Do you know what number 2 is?
I'm going to go with points in the paint.
Okay, 3 things.
Because the points in the paint has been
an
issue against the Bulls. We have had an issue with that in January and tonight, because I'd probably say 46 of the Bulls' points came from points in the paint tonight.
I think it was more. Was it more? You might have to stat check that.
Let me stat check. I think because they had like 64, and then we had because they had 64. They scored 127. So
so you said 46. That's why I was like, it's definitely more than that.
The 46%. So maybe it might be more. Maybe like above 50%. So you never know. But yeah, I mean, it's just unacceptable when you give up so many 60 points in the paint,
60
over 128. So if I do the math right now, that's probably going to come out to be like 40. 46%. So
I thought you said 46 points in the paint, not 46% of their points in the paint.
So it's 46% of their points.
But then it was 60 points, which is insane. And I know we did not. And you know what's crazy? The Chicago Bulls have the worst paint defense in the NBA. And, you know, the whole first half, we were just chucking threes the whole game. I mean, it was working in the first quarter. It was so much fun when you make 11 of them and you make 13 for the half. I mean,
shout out Trey Lyles.
At that point, you got to shoot. Yeah. Trey Lyles 4 for 4 in the first quarter from 3, and then Malik Monk 5 for 7. So, that was a great early shine in the game. You know, we were up 19 at one point, so it was working. But then the aggression by Kobe.
Dude. Kobe White,
Kobe White.
Listen, Kobe
King's
White.
assassin.
Not just a King's assassin. He is the monarch. The monarch of King's killers. Like, when you think of... He's at a class of his own, man.
He's like Liam Neeson and Jason Statham.
Yes, dude.
He's like, he can take out anyone, especially the King.
Yeah.
That's his
Yeah, Jason Bourne,
Yes.
you know, like Tom Cruise.
John Wick.
Yeah, John Wick.
That's Kobe White
The
against the
Matrix dude. I mean, yeah.
The list goes on and on and on.
Neo, that's who it is. Neo.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, Kobe White had 4 points. This is gonna make me very upset to even say it. You know who had 4 points on the Kings in the first half?
Zach Lavine.
You know who had 4 points in the first half from the Bulls? Kobe White.
Yeah, Kobe White.
What did Kobe White finish with, and what did Zach Lavine finish with?
Zach Lavine finished with 8 points.
And Kobe White finished with
34?
35.
35. All right, that's pretty close.
He scored I think it was 34, maybe it's 34. 34, 35, whatever. But he had 30 points in the second half. You know who could do that? Number 8 on our team.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Man. But, dude, Kobe White getting to the rim at ease tonight. I mean, he just was scoring. He had 15 points in the third, 16 points in the fourth. That guy was eating us up alive. And then Jonas Valanciunas, he was struggling to stay on the floor tonight because of the defensive matchups with their big. It was just a weird. And to make things even worse, the Bulls were missing Josh Giddey too.
Yeah, it's just not good.
So the Bulls basically had a win like us to the Cavs. They did it to us. Unlucky.
This is what scares me about Jonas Valanciunas, because you did say about. I want to talk about Jonas Valanciunas a little bit, because you did mention that yes, he struggled tonight, and a lot of the struggles came from the Bulls being in a 5-out offense, and when you look at the schedule that's coming up...
Oh my God, no, don't say it.
Look at the two teams in the East that utilize the stuffing out of the 5-out offense. Ready?
Milwaukee Bucks and
the Boston Celtics.
You know why? Brook Lopez could shoot threes. Porzingis and Horford could shoot threes. And you know who could not defend the three?
Not Jonas.
Jonas Valanciunas. And you know who's out all of those games? Sabonis. So we're going to have to bank on a Trey Lyles masterclass. I mean, Shay, like RT said, shouts out Trey Lyles. I mean, the second best 41 after Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy has been playing unbelievable basketball the past couple games. I mean, he finished with 22 points.
It's not bad.
But it's not just the points, dude. He's actually defending pretty well. I mean, yeah, so yeah, shouts out Trey Lyles. But yes, back on the Jonas Valanciunas thing. Evan Mobley. Did you see what Evan Mobley did to Jonas Valanciunas in that third quarter last night?
He went on a personal run himself to take the lead. They were down 10?
They were down 11.
Down 11, and then you know what Evan Mobley does?
What did he do?
What did
Mr. Mosby do?
Mr. Mosby Mr. Mosby,
Esteban! Esteban Julio Ricardo.
You know what he did?
Tell me.
He went through all the hotel rooms that Jonas Valanciunas was in, just cleaned house, basically scored, hit a shit ton of threes. Yeah, he had the third quarter of his life against the Kings.
Dude.
And then we're up one.
And that just shows Jonas's biggest weakness. Shouts out Jack the Kings fan. He was onto it. He was onto it early. He mentioned the defense, and I was like, no, I mean, Jonas, he's a big body down there. But Jack the Kings fan wasn't talking about the paint defense. That guy was talking about the perimeter defense. When you're going up in today's NBA where every single center could shoot the three ball, that's where Jonas struggles. And we saw it tonight against the Bulls and the other night against Evan Mobley. Man. So we're going to have some trouble when we face, the teams in the East that could shoot, and we see them very, very soon. So.
Oh, and then we haven't even mentioned the worst part about it either.
What's the worst part?
Chet Holmgren can shoot threes too.
I know, and that's who we play on Tuesday next week.
Yeah,
so
that's so bad, man.
Jonas is in for a treat, but I mean,
I don't know if you would call it a treat.
No, he's in for a
rude awakening. I know. This is not fun.
Speaking of Jonas, the one thing that I do love about him, I mean, on the stat sheet, he's still doing pretty well. But, yeah, he had a double-double in the Cavs game. But my favorite thing about Jonas Valanciunas is in the starting lineup, when they announce his name, you know how Sabonis does the bulldozing? When Jonas does it, because, he's filling in for Sabonis, he does it to the players. They just start running away. It's so funny. Yeah, the King's Instagram made a video about it, and I saw it live for the first time, and it was hilarious. Because Jonas goes up to Keon, goes up to Trey, goes up to everyone. They all they just run away during the. So yeah, shouts out Jonas for just being a brick wall. But sometimes brick walls can't guard threes, and so that's what it is.
Sheesh, man. I mean, when your doppelganger is Travis Kelce, I mean I would probably run away from that too.
And when Jonas's brothers are Kevin, Joe, and Nick, it's the year 3000.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
I mean, I don't know if you can compare Jonas's brothers to Jokic's brothers. I don't know who would win in a wrestling match between the two of them.
But I'm paying.
Yeah,
to watch.
I'll pay to see it.
I think they're coming to the Golden One Center for WWE Monday Night Raw. So we might see the Valanciunas brothers versus the Jokic brothers.
That would be a banger, actually.
Okay, we got to talk about. Let's just do it. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's talk about Kevin Huerter. That man. Wait, I'm so sorry. Earlier I said there's 3 things on the stat sheet that showed. So number 1 was Zach Lavine, 9 shots. Number 2 that you pointed out was points in the paint. Number 3, Keon Ellis only playing 17 minutes. RT, take it away. When you hear that, RT. Oh wait, I'm going to make you even more mad. He got subbed out at the 2-minute and 13-second mark in the third quarter and did not return.
For the rest of the game?
For the rest of the game, RT.
All right. Oh, no. I'm a head out. No, but I'm just joking. But bruh, it's worse than the DNPs he had earlier in the season.
Yes. And okay.
Are you serious?
Because he was getting into foul trouble.
Well, that makes sense.
He had 4 fouls, though. At least,
you could play him the last 5.
Let him foul out. Let him foul out. I don't know. Because our favorite statistic about Keon Ellis is not only is he the plus-minus merchant, but when he plays 28 minutes or more, the Kings win. 11 minutes under the 28? When he's been playing amazing in all these other games, I mean, just because he had a couple, ticky-tacky fouls, you got to keep him out there. I don't know. Put him on Kobe White. Put him on Kevin Huerter. I don't know. I think maybe it could have been a different outcome. I don't know.
We don't know.
We can't go back in the past. So.
We don't know. Yeah, it's I mean, yes, he was being aggressive on defense. That's what you want, though, from Keon Ellis.
And that's why I wanted him to go back into the game. Keep it up. I don't care if you're fouling. If you foul out, that's fine. Next man up. But don't, just play without him. 17 minutes hurt to you. 17. Unacceptable. Unacceptable behavior.
Well, how about 127 tonight, giving up 127 tonight to the Bulls? Now, that's even more unacceptable.
No, RT. It was 128. It's even more.
All right, listen, 127, 128. You call it tomato.
It's just a lot of points.
No matter what, it's a lot of points.
I just wanted to show you that it was worse than what you thought. Another one bites the dust. We got to talk about this guy too, Nikola Vucevic. Dude, he almost had a triple-double tonight. That man had 24 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists. That guy was knocking down threes like Evan Mobley when Jonas was guarding him.
Makes sense because they were in 5 out in that third quarter.
I know, and dude, they just tore us apart. They outscored us by 12 points in the third quarter. That's when they took the lead. And then they were just, we kind of brought it within, I think they had a 7-point lead, and then we got it close, and then they just ballooned up, and then those 2 Kevin Huerter daggers in the corner in front of the Bulls bench, and that second one, he knew it was going in, and he turned at his it made me sick to my stomach. I almost vomited. Seeing Kevin, I ate a lot of red velvet cake and I almost threw it all up after watching that. Shouts out Rick's Diner, today's sponsor. I'm just kidding.
Dude, that would be crazy if Rick's Dessert Diner was our sponsor. That would be insane. Oh, dude.
This game, I mean...
Listen, I don't want to cut you off, but listen. We beat the Cavs.
You're right.
We beat the Cavs. It could be a lot worse.
No, honestly, I think we need to think about it like this. We were going to split either way, right? Because in our head, we were going to beat the Bulls, lose to the Cavs. We did the opposite. Obviously, we would have, we want to win we want to win the rest of the 13 games we have remaining. But that's just not reality, RT. So I think we know. We beat the best team, and then we dropped one. So we chalk it up, look at the film, prepare for Saturday against the Milwaukee Bucks, who just... We don't play well against the Bucks. Let's just be honest. Let's break it down.
Oh, God. Where do we want to start?
Because, okay, Keegan Murray is probably going to have to guard Giannis. If that guy gets into foul trouble, who's going to guard him? I think the way we beat them is we replicate what we did against the Cavs. We have Devin Carter playing heavy minutes. We have him full court pressing the whole game. We have Keon Ellis not playing 17 minutes. Zach Lavine needs to shoot the ball more than 9 times. I think it's, since we lost, we have a lot to, fix going into that Bucks game. And the Bucks, they had a dominant win against the Lakers tonight. So they're feeling themselves. They always play good against us in Sacramento. So we just have to prove the haters wrong again, prove ourselves wrong again, and make it happen.
Yeah, I like it. That's where we got to be, man. Sometimes in life, that's how you just got to take it. I mean, we've done it so many times this year. We've beaten the Celtics on the road. We've beaten the Cavs at home. This is another chance for us to put a big win on our calendar and just be like, hey, this team won a big game.
You know how I'm thinking about the rest of the season, RT? We have 13 games left. There's a big gap between 9 and 8. The 9 and 10, and there's a little bit of a gap, but if things go really, really bad, there is a chance we could fall out, but I just don't see that happening.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I doubt it. I mean, Dallas is at a free fall right now, so it's going to be really hard. I mean, you think about it this way. We are 2.5 games out. We're 2.5 games ahead of Phoenix and Dallas.
Yeah, so
right?
we have not like a huge lead, but we have a little bit of comfort. If we do drop some of these big games, I mean... Say like with the 13 games left, say we win 6 out of the 13, Mm-hmm. I don't think that's going to get us out of the play-in picture. So I think these like small wins, like that Cavs win, and like in the grand scheme of things, we're not jumping up in the playoff race, but we're getting these like valuable wins. That's going to prepare us well for a play-in game. Because in the realistic scenario that we're going to have, we're probably going to play Phoenix at home.
I don't know. I think Phoenix has a really hard schedule coming up because...
Oh, you think Dallas might keep the 10th?
I don't know. I think I feel like some team like Portland's going to sneak in because...
A tease hot take.
Listen, because I'll tell you this right now. Because if you look at the Suns' remaining schedule, get ready for this. This is like the schedule from hell.
Worse than ours?
It's worse than ours.
Oh, my God.
Check it out. So... They play the Cavs tomorrow. Then they play the Bucks, the Celtics, the Timberwolves, the Rockets, and then they go on the road to play the Bucks again, the Celtics, the Knicks, then go home to play the Warriors, then the Thunder, then the Spurs, and then us. Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about the schedule from hell? That's the schedule from hell. That is a nightmare. And then you look at Dallas, who is basically depleted. They play the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, they play the Pistons. Then they play the Brooklyn Nets on the road. Then they play the Knicks, Magic, Bulls. And those are all road games, by the way, too. And then...
Oh, so theirs is way easier than the Suns.
No, not necessarily. I mean, because they're so beat up, though,
Yeah, but...
They're beat up. And they're on the road, too. Those road games are very difficult.
Oh, so you're saying... I see what you're saying. You're saying... Mavericks are going to go down. Suns go down. Portland go up.
Yeah, Portland's going to sneak in. I have a weird feeling. Call it whatever you is. I mean, Portland is 2 games out of 10 right now. I think something crazy is going to happen where I think Portland can really sneak in and really cause a ruckus.
Denny Avdia just had like a 35-point game the other night. They're a solid team. So the realistic situation, I'll say Phoenix or Portland, but it's going to be, an elimination game. So I think as the Kings team, as constructed with, what's ahead of us, we just beat the Cavs. That was a great win. You take those experiences of that Celtics win, the Cavs win, and you look at what did we do to win those games? And then you look and you just see, okay, Devin Carter picked up full court. Keon Ellis, point of attack defender. You replicate that in those playing games, and we just have to look at it as it's now or never. You win those games, and then you just live with the result. So I think it's very possible for us to win at least the first playing game, because although we do have lapses like this where we lose to the Chicago Bulls, I feel like when people count us out the most is when they surprise us. And I was listening to Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports, and they were saying, as a Kings fan, you could literally, it's impossible to predict this team. You could, from this sample size of 69 games that we've played, it's impossible to predict how we're going to play. And I think that's just, it's true, because we would have bet that we would have beat the Bulls, and then we would have bet all our money that we would have lost to the Cavs.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like you just have to, it's all out of our control. We just have to be spectators and support the team, and just no expectations, and whatever happens, happens. That's just what it has to be.
Yeah. I get it. That's what it boils down to. We talked about it earlier. I know we joke about this a lot in the pod. We talked about it a couple episodes that this team will finish 41-41.
It's looking like
that's probably what it will be. Exactly what it is. Maybe 42-40. But that's I just think the Kings' floor is their ceiling. Do you get what I'm saying?
Wait, their seventh floor?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, because it's the floor. The floor is their ceiling. They're not going to get better. They're not going to get worse. They're going to be exactly where they are. There's no room for improvement or regression.
Yeah, it's we are what we are at this point. We're 69 games in. It's not like we're going to be winning 13 in a row and jumping up to the 5th seed. We know that's not going to happen. I highly doubt we're going to lose 13 in a row and make it out the play-in. But what I do think is that this team could be very good when they want to be, when they're locked in, when defense is a priority, the energy is an all-time high when you protect home court. That's when the Kings are at their best, and we've seen them do it before. It wasn't tonight, but they're capable of it. So that's why it's I don't think this team is a lost cause at all. I think they're a surprising team. So whoever we go up against, they don't know what they're gonna get. They really have I feel like when you game plan for the Sacramento Kings, it's a very hard team to game plan for, because you don't know who's gonna go off. We've always said Lavine should be the guy, but Lavine sometimes doesn't want to be the guy. He wants to only shoot 9 times, and then Malik is no, I want to be the guy. And then DeRozan's no, I'm going to be the guy. And then Keegan all of a sudden, he's no, I'll take 15, 16 shots.
And then when you add Sabonis to the equation too,
that's what I'm saying.
I think we talked about this when Fox was still on the team, that there was too many chefs in the kitchen. I just feel like this is the same problem. And I feel like the lineup of Monk, Monk, DeRozan, and Lavine. We've talked about this so many times that it's just been such an issue for this team. There's not a defensive guard that's really out there. And there's not one that really, really can truly play on the defensive side out of those 3. So for me, and that's why our defensive rating is really low. Tonight was a prime example of that, right? When Keon Ellis got 4 fouls, what did the Bulls do really well the entire game?
Drive to the basket.
And not only that, 5-out offense.
Yeah.
So they killed us in 2 ways: points in the paint, and they got hot from 3. They're
hot at the right time.
Yeah, they got hot. They started seeing stuff, and they got aggressive to the foul line too. So,
and Chicago just plays fast.
Mm-hmm.
like what we were doing is like the first half we were moving the ball. The offense looked so great in the first half. I mean, we were moving, guys were getting open shots. I mean, Trey Lau scoring 20 points in the half or like going into the third. That's incredible. Like that's what happens when you move the ball. Guys are going to get open and they're going to get hot and get open shots. And then we just went away from that. And I'm like, why do we do this? Like when something's working, we always go away from it. And it's unfortunate, but yeah, that's how Chicago climbed back into this game slowly. And then then once they had the lead, it was no looking back. But
yeah, I mean, you look at the Bulls right now. They're about 2 games out from the 7-8 game, which actually is pretty impressive. And like, because the Bulls have just lived in this 10-seam realm for the last 2 years.
I think it's been a long time.
No, because they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs a couple of years ago.
They had a deep run. I mean, not deep run, but they made
the first round.
They were like the 3rd seed, right?
They were the 6th seed. So they were
6th.
So they actually, before the All-Star break, they were the 1 seed, and then everybody got hurt, and then they dropped all the way down to 6, and then they lose to 5 to Milwaukee, and then the next 2 years, 2 years, and then they're in the same spot again. But like the next 2-3 years is like you're in the 9-10 play-in game, and it's just like, bruh, you know what I mean?
I know.
That's the definite. That's like if I had to put the Chicago Bulls as a 1-team word, that would be bruh.
Batiste, you know what makes me like a little nervous when you say that? Because you said the Chicago Bulls were a 9-10 seed 2 seasons in a row.
We're going to be us.
That's us.
Sacramento Bulls.
That's us, our team. But hey, it is what it is. A miracle would have to happen for us to not be in the 9-10 game. But all likelihood shows that we're going to be in that game going up against Portland or Phoenix. Yeah. Or maybe Dallas. Who knows? Maybe AD will decide to come back. That's still up in the air. So they haven't ruled it out yet. I mean, if I'm Dallas, get that guy. Don't let that guy play. But the way I'm looking at the end of the season is just
pray.
Just 2 games. Just play good and 2 back-to-back games. And I think the Kings are able to do that.
You can beat Minnesota. Minnesota is a very doable matchup. The Clippers, even though we lost to them on a Kawhi game winner, they looked good. We were up 7 with 2 minutes left in that regulation.
And that was without Norman Powell, who will definitely be available when it's time.
Yeah. Oh God.
So out of the 3 teams that are probably going to be in the 7-8, it's going to be Warriors, Timberwolves, or Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you think advances in that situation to 6?
Out of those 6, I mean, I think it's Golden State.
So you think Golden State?
I think Golden State, but I do think that Minnesota can be a sneaky team too because Julius Randle is healthy. They haven't lost besides until last night, I think, when they played the Pacers. They were undefeated when Julius Randle was playing.
Yeah, I know. It was like 14 in a row, which is crazy.
And then they lost to Indiana. But, that's the NBA. All streaks are meant to be broken. Yeah. But I think the Timberwolves could be really sneaky if they have the right schedule coming up. They win a big amount of games. They could just basically find themselves back in that Western Conference Finals like they were last year.
Is your RT prediction, would you rather have the Clippers beat the Timberwolves in the 7-8 games so then that we play them and just hope that we beat the Timberwolves and then we get that opportunity?
I'll be frankly honest
here. Or
do
do you want the Clippers?
I think the Clippers make the most sense for the Kings because it's shorter travel, right?
So you think that the Timberwolves will beat the Clippers?
I think the Timberwolves will beat the Clippers. I really do. I think the
so
Timberwolves...
you think if we win in the 9-10, we'd have to... That's who we have to go through.
Yeah, because the Timberwolves have beaten the Clippers 3 times this year. And I think the Timberwolves match up really well. They match up with size. They match up well with size. Anthony Edwards is him, and I think that just when you look at the general size of things, I feel like Kawhi Leonard is due to get hurt at some point. And I think
Stephen A said it.
I said, because Stephen A said, you know what I was going to say. Yes. You know where I was going to go with this. But and James Harden, he's also 35 years old too. So, he's had his injury problems too. So, all it takes is one injury from one of those 2 players, maybe out of even Norman Powell if he's still hurt, to kind of like give the Kings a chance. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if that happens, yeah, I do like the Kings' chances against the Clippers that time. So, we'll see. If Kawhi Leonard doesn't play, then we'll see what happens in April. Something's going to go down, so we'll find out.
Dude, it's so crazy that the playoffs are a month away. Exactly a month away, the NBA playoffs will start. So we're very, very close. I can't believe there's only 13 games left in the season. I feel like you blink and, we've recorded 44 podcasts and the Kings have played 69 games. It's crazy how fast the season has gone. Next order of business, we got to talk about the McNeese Cowboys.
Amen.
What did I tell you?
Amen. Listen,
What did I tell you?
Shout out Drake. Shout out Drake.
Huge upset.
Huge upset from them. Listen, it was a nice little day one. You kind of expect it. It was kind of a very light day one.
There was any buzzer beaters, unfortunately?
Not really. I mean, I was very high on the UC San Diego Tritons. They were up with 2 minutes left, and yeah, that's brutal. But
I think everyone had them.
Yeah, I think it was too popular of a pick. That's the problem. I think it was too much of a popular pick. But shout out McNeese, man.
Hey, shout out McNeese. Hey, can you pull up the
one down? What, 4 to go for you? If they still win,
I know. I have
one
McNeese
down,
going all the
4
way.
to go. Yeah, let's pull up.
Yeah, pull it up. Pull up our.
Shout out to all. Shout out to what do we got? 46 people in our group.
Yeah, we got a good amount.
49. Hey, 49ers. Let's go. So shout out. So
Who's in first? Who's in first right now?
So right now we have Von C.
Shouts out Von C.
So Von C is up there, and then we have a two-way tie. I don't know who ESPN fan picks are. If you guys also can DM us on Instagram if you guys win, and just show your bracket, that actually will help us out.
Yeah, or if you could log into your ESPN and can you change your name to your actual name, so we know who's who.
Or your Instagram,
yeah,
or a fun name. Instagram makes sense,
or just not the ESPN generated one.
Yeah, because it's going to be hard for us.
Because we want to shout out who's in the lead. Because we're going to be following this, all throughout the rest of the month. So
shout out Full Metal Bracket, and then shout out Gunnar Reach.
Yeah,
Gunnar Reach is in the top 5.
He was number 1 earlier, so he dropped a little bit.
And then our boy T Money, Trenton Signer, he's in there too. 120.
T Money had McNeese in there too. So
he knows his stuff. He and I have been texting back and forth. We're big sports bettors, so we like to look at odds. We like to look at what the value plays are, and so that's kind of where we make our bread and butter. So he went what? Let me pull up his text. I think he had a good day. He went 8 for 3 today in his bets, so that's pretty damn good. So shout out to him. He had a very solid day at the office, so can't complain.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, RT is a jack of all trades. He is a professional bettor, professional sports bettor, professional poker player, music teacher, live musician. As you guys saw in the Instagram story, that was probably our most popular Instagram story ever posted.
Dude, that was a banger
People
weekend,
are going
though.
crazy. He's also a professional student at Sac State, and he's going to be a soon-to-be music instructor at your local elementary coming up.
Soon. Yeah, I got a big job fair coming up next week. So,
and he's a professional podcaster, professional basketball hooper at any local park. He's a rec league legend. Oh, man, the list goes on. But, yeah, that's just RT for you guys.
Yeah, I mean...
And he's a professional nail...
Yeah, I got my nail tech. Shout out Maya. Listen, I'll flex the nails one more time again because I just think these nails look really, really damn good. I mean, I'm a big fan of the nails. I actually really am. I really am. I mean, listen, Jared McCain is... I'm making a TikTok as soon as I'm done after we record. I'm letting y'all know right now. And
you know what you need to do? You need to replicate a Jared McCain TikTok of him dancing, but you just start copying all of it.
No, I have a TikTok in mind.
You got to do... He always does these ones where he dances to Drake. You got to copy him. That would be so funny where he dances.
I know. He has one move where it's he sits down.
Can you give the people a preview?
Yeah. So check it out. So here we go. I got some love deep inside of me. No need to lie to me. I know you got a guy. He's not a guy to me. Just say goodbye to him, then take a ride with me. I don't know it off the top of my head. But that's pretty close. Really that's pretty close, though. That's pretty close to what a Jared McCain TikTok looks like. So
Jared McCain, more like Ryan Latiz. Amazing. Well, hey, you win some, you lose some. You can't win them all. Unfortunately, the Kings dropped a very winnable game by 12 points to the Chicago Bulls. We are now 35 and 34. It would have been so great to be 36 and 33, but hey.
Listen, you know what? I'm going to say this right now.
Oh, yes, RT.
I'm going to say this right now. The back-to-back is like the innie and outie of Severance. Sometimes on the first night of back-to-back, your innie locks in, gets the job done, shocks the world, and then, your outie comes in the night of the second night of back-to-back, just like feeling...
Maybe a little tired.
Didn't take the foot off the gas, and that's what Doug Christie mentioned tonight. Malik Monk was also saying that too, so... that's probably Malik's Monk outies saying that as well. He's just like, we let the foot off the gas. We can be better, So, I feel like tonight was I feel like this was a Severance episode where last night the innies went to work and then all of a sudden Dylan flips the switch tonight and then the Kings turn into their outies and it's just like, oh, this is what happened.
This is exactly what happened because the Cavaliers game, Dylan he does the overtime contingency, right?
Yep.
So then we beat the Cavs. And then the way season 1, episode 9 ends, she's alive. And
she's alive.
And then when he yells, it cuts to the black screen. That was us in the third quarter when we gave up the lead. And then from there, we just had to wait till season 2 to finally come 3 years later. And then this is how we lost the game.
Yeah, and then it's like the rest of the 13 games is like going to be Severance season 2. So we're gonna. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
The reason why we're recording this so late is because RT had a gig, and then I was locking in on the last episode because I was like, "What's going to make me feel better after a Red Velvet Masterclass?" The season finale of Severance, and my God, it was insane. Shouts out Cold Harbor, but. If you've made it this far, RT would like you to comment.
Purple Nails, hashtag Purple Nails if you came all the way and you're at this part in the moment. Hashtag Purple Nails, hashtag Jared McCain, hashtag RT's nails are painted. One of the two. Whatever.
Anything to do with the nails.
Related. Any hashtag nail related. We'll give you a shout out for the coolest comment for the hashtag. Oh, we got some
good ones. Oh, pull up the ones from the last one.
Let's pull up I want to pull up some of the comments
from the John Morant
because I want to shout out some people that were, coming after John Morant like I was. So I'm glad that there's some people out there that are just like me. So
there were some good ones.
One of my favorite ones is Doctor of Rec 44 saying Marvin Bagley III is better than Ja. Wait, never mind.
Yes, that was the one. That one was so funny.
That was the best one.
That one was hilarious.
And shout out to Vernon. Shout out to Benjamin Abaya. Vernon Maxwell is better than Ja.
That was a hilarious one too because RT and I and Johnny, we made an Instagram reel a long time ago where we were naming players from the 90s until someone messes up. And then I believe you said Vernon Maxwell and all of us were like, who? And then we had to look it up, and then he played for us for like a very short stint. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
That was a long time ago.
That's a loyal fan. Bryson Cribbs, shout out to him. Jason Thompson is better than Triple J. Oh, that one came out of left field too.
I like that though. I like that a lot.
Sometimes you got to come out with that left field. All-Star Ant, Beno Udrith is better than Ja. And then Lou Hart, U7C, Nick Stauskas is better than Ja. So shout out to all of you. We can't wait to see all the hashtags
about RT's the nail reveal.
For my nail reveal. Like give it a comment. Just show some love. Listen. Like if this is gonna be what's gonna help us, make this run, so be it. But shout out again to Maya, my nail tech. She came in the clutch. Came out, just
I can't believe you hired her to come on the pod.
yeah, no,
we didn't even say
she just walked in, she just walked in and
you had the appointment time and then
and it was just like she just walked in, just nonchalant, just
got it done,
got to work, and
it turned out amazing.
It actually really did.
That's so funny. Well, guys, just thank you for watching. Thank you for being on this ride with us. I mean, we love doing this. Can't believe we've done 44 podcasts together. It's crazy.
750 subscribers later on YouTube, and
we're at 750. The goal is 1,000 by the end of the season, but we only have 13 games left, so we would need a massive wave of people to come check us out. So if you guys want to help us, hit the like button, subscribe, share with your friends, share to any Kings fans that you think would enjoy some Kings fans talking about their favorite team, because that's what we do on a consistent basis. Not as consistent as Deuce and Mo and Matt George, because those guys are
locked in. We'll be locked in.
We'll get there at one point. We'll get there at one point.
We're dipping our toes in right now. That's all we're doing.
We're dipping our fingernails into the purple. Yeah, purple beam.
If there's a purple bowl right here, that's where it is. Juice. That's right. And then also shout out to 1,000 followers on Instagram too.
Yes,
so that's very huge. So we're super grateful for all the people that we've met this year that are fans, that come up to us. We're just super grateful, obviously, just to talk about the Kings, to have this platform and just share with all of you. I know that a lot of our friends tune into this, but just even strangers that we...
Oh, tons.
Yeah, and it just means a lot to us, and it just keeps us going.
Yeah, and don't you worry. I know that when the season ends in, middle of June for the Sacramento Kings, not April...
Yeah.
So when the Sacramento Kings season ends in the middle of June, we're still going to be uploading videos. We're going to be having some interviews. We're going to have some more guests on. So throughout the summer, when there's 6 months of no basketball, the Kang Gang pod will still be active.
That's right, baby.
So that's something to look forward to as well.
And I will say this: I there's going to be some killer content ideas too. So follow us on Instagram, because we're gonna drop some bangers coming up.
He's gonna. RT has wonderful ideas.
Yeah, we're gonna be dropping. I have a banger idea that I'm gonna be sharing with him immediately that we're done after this pod. So, just listen, just tap in for the ride, man. It's fun. We love doing this. I mean, it's a great time, and we just love all the people that we've met. And we're just gonna keep this going. So
we're gonna continue to evolve the podcast, evolve the content that we're putting out. In the summer, RT and I. We will be going to, drumroll please, Summer League.
Let's go.
So we're going to be doing that trip in the summer, and then we will also, next season, we'll be hitting a, drumroll please.
Oh, you got to do the drum roll this time, though. Here, you got it. We will be going on an East Coast road trip.
Yes, we will. So, just... for the listeners that are still listening after a terrible loss to the Chicago Bulls, that's where we reveal all of the stuff, because we're like, realistically, not everyone's going to be there to the very end, but the real ones are the ones that care to know anyway. So that's why we always put the juicy, fun stuff at the end.
Tail end, baby.
So, RT, is there one more segment you'd like to do before we close out the pod?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do one more segment.
What segment should we do?
I think a segment that would be really good for us to do is, let's see how. I know we've been talking about. The last episode was kind of like me and all that stuff.
Yes.
I was like, you know what? I'm redirecting it at you.
Yes.
So tell us, man, like, what's going on in your life? Like, what's going on? What's new? Like, what do you have anything that you want to share to the listeners that you are just, you want to tell anybody? What's going on in the world of Cristo and Cristo's Closet?
So, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, it's gonna be an amazing trip. But unfortunately, to you and to the listeners, I will be absent for a week, 6 days, I believe. Maya and I are going to Alaska for Maya's brother's wedding. So I will be gone during a couple games. So I will not be on the pod. They're going to try and figure something out, but if it doesn't happen, there might not be any pods for
at least a week,
for like 4 or 5 days. But besides that, so I'll be in Alaska, and then so I got that coming up, and then That's basically it, really. I mean, just have that, and then that's all that's really coming on in the near future, and then just locking in on the end of the season, grinding it out, because locking in. I think the only other Kings game I'm going to this year, because I had to sell a bunch of my tickets because I'll be gone. The last game I will have is the final game against Phoenix, and then the play-in game if we make the play-in, and then so hopefully we're going to Kings games in end of April and May. That would be amazing. And June when we hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Yeah, so I don't really have anything crazy going on, but yes, I'm very excited for the wedding. That's going to be very, very fun. I do have some small trips lined up throughout the rest of the year, but that's the one that's right away. So that's why the podcast will not be out. But yeah, that's basically it, Teasy.
We'll figure something out too. Johnny and I will come together. If bare minimum, I'll figure something out too.
Archie, do a solo pod.
I'll probably just like something like this where I have my tripod camera and just set this up. Just keep it simple, kind of have like a nice little backdrop.
RT will go on Instagram Live. Follow RT Clark.
Yeah.
He'll go on Instagram Live and he'll just talk about the game.
Yeah, that also works too.
Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening, for watching. If you watch on YouTube, if you listen on Spotify, wherever you listen to the KGP, thank you so much. And since it is 12:24, it is time for us to go to sleep.
Yep.
RT, sing the listeners a lullaby.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. Shout out to the Beatles, man.